Hi, everyone. Welcome to the weekly school session, and welcome everyone from the Teenage Dragons YouTube channel. And so today we have a bunch of people here already. So let's begin the session. Today's session we will start with some Q&A, some questions, and then we'll move on to the main topic of today. So let us go through the Skype. Okay, Ling Sifu.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can begin.
Our first question is from Tian Zhong. He says,
Hey.
师公哥Cheng, I was wondering what kinds of divination our lineage uses besides I Ching. Do we use Chinese astrology or tortoise shell divination? What about 大刘人太医 or I think this
Okay, lah. I get
yeah.
the idea. Okay. Well, that's a good question, and it actually relates to our topic today as well, which is communication with God. Now, the word divination, I don't really understand how, like, every one of you get this word, like, how do you define it? But here, let me tell you, divination is basically you're communicating with the gods and to get an answer about whatever you want to know. So, divination can be in any form. It doesn't really matter. As long as you have a system and your God understand that system and you communicate with the system, right? Then it's going to be okay. So basically, it's like a way to communicate with your higher powers. Okay. Now, Yiking and all that, most people have a wrong, wrong impression of this thing. You guys all think like, oh, we have a book, and then we just flip the book and see like whatever result we have from doing such and such, and then you look at the book, and then you flip to that page, and oh, that's my result. That's what's supposed to mean. Well, that's not it, okay? That's not the real divination. Well, in the ancient time, divination is always done by some very like holy or very sacred people. They are done by special people who can communicate with the higher power. For example, a village, okay, or a country, they will have one person that is specifically there to help the country or help the village to do these divination and ask who? Well, it depends. For example, this village believes in like let's say for example, okay, their village believe in a dragon whatever thing that used to protect their village, and they have like a dragon bone thing hang on the wall and that kind of thing. And well, yeah, they believe that is their god, their guardian. So whenever anything happens, they will go there and do something in front of the dragon and then say, oh, please give us some guidance. And then eventually, whatever had happened equals that thing giving them the guidance, right? So that's divination. It can be in any form. I mean, if you want, you can create your own, right? But in our lineage, we have some divination method that we use all the time, and it doesn't limit us to like, just that. We can have different or new divination method whenever we need or whenever it's like there's a need for it. For example, like we have this the moon cups. Okay, like there's a two-piece of wood, 2 blocks of wood, and then you can drop it. Okay, so what if we don't have that and I'm outside? Well, I can pick up 2 coins, for example. I can pick up some tree leaves, the branches, and whatever things. I can use my finger. Anything can work. So as long as the real channeling is there, you're actually talking to someone and using this communication method to ask your question. it's going to come back, and that's divination. The fake divination is like it's like a game or like a random draw. It's like you open your phone app and then you click and then let the phone pick a number for you, that kind of thing. That's fake divination. So real divination always have this factor involved, and that is the communication with whatever you believe in. Okay, so here, of course, like if you have an altar, you can communicate and ask, like do this divination to ask question with your Josie, okay, your local god, or your landlord, okay, the ground god, and so on. So you can like ask different deities on the altar. And sometimes the funny thing is, okay, you ask this deity, and the deity will not know about what you're asking because maybe the deity is like not specialized for that thing or whatever. You ask another one, okay, and the result will be very different. We have like a lot of experience like this in the lineage because every day, literally every day, we do divination. Every day, okay, every day, checking up spiritual cases, helping clients, or for ourselves. We always do divination, like every day. And the funny thing is, it's so accurate, so freaky accurate, to the point that you will feel that it is really someone talking to you. Because you start asking questions, and then, like, no, 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 and then suddenly you change to the answer to another thing, and then it becomes yes, 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 very close, and then bingo. It's very, like, it's very real, like when you're talking to someone, they cannot use direct word to answer you, but they can say yes or no. Then if you ask, you can really feel like I'm getting there, I'm getting there, I'm getting close, and then bang, like that. And it won't be so random, like, yeah, 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 you're getting there. No, yeah, no, no, no. It's not like that. It's not like a random draw like that. It's very real because you can feel that you're actually tapping on the right path, and then closer and closer, and then bang, that's the one. And of course, you can't just take anything and then just do it yourself, right? You have to make the tool magical. What do we mean by magical? It's like the tool has to be connected to the other side, and they have to agree that this is the tool we're going to use. This is the result that we're going to agree on, and that's what it means, and so on. So even like the moon cups, those blocks, it seems very simple. You have like only three things that can happen: both cups facing up, facing down, or one up, one down, right? But then you see, you can have different meaning for them. You can have different ways to interpret them, and it really depends on how the system said it. It's not like which one is right; it's which one your God goes by. So in our system, our lineage, we have our own rules for that thing, and then so when we div, we know that it got to be like that in order to be a true case, and we're not taking anything except that. And we have a lot of security questions that we ask. For example, before we start, we have to ask a few questions. Let's say, okay, number one is XYZ God ready or here? And then number two is the area clean and ready to div? Number three is, can I start the div? If you get a negative for one of them, some factor is not right. Then you need to fix it. For example, you need to like purify the place, cleanse the place, or seal up the place, or whatever. Or if the God is not there, then you ask another one, right? Now, there's some funny situation where like we send some God to work, and they are like working on something, right? And then we do a divination and ask them, and they're like, we're not here. So you really cannot like get the answers from gods that are actually busy doing work for you. And then you ask another one, and okay, now it's fun when you understand how the real time interaction is with these divination. And of course, we also have other things such as what you mentioned, the coin and the turtle shell thing. you don't need a turtle shell. Okay, you can use anything to cover it. Just basically, you need a container to contain those coins, and you shake it. Okay, so it basically represents something. Okay, it represents a metaphor. Some coins put in there, shake. Okay, it's a metaphor. But anyway, you can use anything. You can use a cup. You can use a bowl and a plate. Anything works. Okay, so you can use your hand as well. Okay, so yeah, you have coins. We have the team. You know, the team is like the little long sticks where you have the numbers on it, and you shake the bucket with a bunch of those sticks and see which one falls out. You can do that, and even to the higher levels, divination, like for us, the Sifu level. Okay, um, you're not limited to only using a tool to do these divination. We can do direct communication, direct talking as well. So it really depends, like what time we'll use what tool, what method. But yeah, there's tons of them in the lineage. So, and of course, whenever there's a need, we can always create new method as well if you want. Like you can take dominoes, you can take playing card, you can take anything. As long as there's a system and there's some meaning to the thing that you put, and the other side likes it, they agree to use that. Okay, fine, why not? Okay, good. Next question，下一個問題，中文有冇中文？
有
係
偏心的问题。人梦到一个陌生的人，一篇没读过的文章，明明不认识，但细节却无比清晰，为什么会这样？那些人或文章是真的存在的嗎
？OK， 好啦，咁咧，你呢個問題咧，即係好似人哋嗰啲西人咧，成日講好似發白夢咁樣咧，跟住就會夢到一啲比較似曾相識嘅東西咁樣啦，或者其實有陣時有啲人咧就會係即係去無啦啦一剎那，跟住覺得好似曾經喺呢度存在過喎咁樣嘅感覺啊嘛，呢啲咁嘅嘢啦。咁咧呢類咁嘅嘢咧，其實咧就一時時啦，講真，有陣時係你自己嘅即係自己嘅呢個錯覺。有陣時咧就係因為咧你同某啲嘢咧中間咧有啲緣分喺度，即係以前曾經有啲緣分喺度，咁可以咁樣，所以有啲感應咁樣。但係咁咧。就奉勸你一句就係咧，唔好執着呢啲咁嘅即係咁嘅感覺，係啦，因為點解咧？因為呢啲感覺咧，其實嗱，你講真，你執着都冇鬼用噶啦，係咪？你攞嚟你將你啲精神時間花落呢啲無聊嘢度，咁呢啲無聊嘅嘢咧，對你有冇益處嘅咧？冇嘅喎，係咪？即係好啦，當我之前同佢係有呢一段，即係有一段緣分嘅定點樣樣？咁又如何咧？你都已經唔係嗰個，即係唔喺嗰度嘅，你已經係去咗第二個生命嘅啦嘛，唔係咁冇關係㗎，所以咧即係你有一句就係咁樣嘅，自然界咧嘅能量咧就係向前行嘅，OK，咁如果我哋呢個人咧唔向前行咧，向後行咧，成日諗下以前諗下即係以前又點，呢啲以前將時間倒流嗰啲咧，就係令你個人咧停滯不前嘅能量，呢啲就係邪嚟嘅。咁所以咧，永遠咧有啲咁嘅嘢咧，一啲比較虛幻或者會令到你即係諗翻啲好唔實際嘅嘢咧，咁嘅思想呢啲嘢咧，好多時候呢啲嘢其實係有邪喺度干擾你。咁呢邪氣嘅干擾咧，就會令你偏向中意沉迷於呢啲嘢咧，咁你就個人生咧就永遠停滯不前啦，就你。永遠就好似有啲嘢塞咗自己咧，就唔知點算咁樣啦，係啦，所以咧就唔好太過執着於呢啲嘢應該諗多啲係即係實際嘅將來嘅未來會點樣，即係咁樣會好過諗啲你以前或者係一啲究竟點解咁嘅呢啲即係比較咁樣嘅路線嘅思想咧係冇益嘅對你。OK，next question。One more question?
Okay, next one from Ting Kim. He was saying, I was wondering how you know when something, someone, or a place is possessed by evil gods, and how do you sense a magic attack?
Okay. someone or something possessed our evil god. Okay. Well, the thing is, how do you know or how do I know is a two different thing. Okay, because for us, like me and the seafoods and such, we can see them right away. So, like, what do you mean by how do you tell? Like, it's right there. You can see it. Okay, so it's not like we cannot see stuff. So you don't need to like look for signs and symptoms. Okay, but let me tell you, like, there's a lot of time when like the place had evil crab there, you don't feel a thing. I mean, like, if the evil crab want to hide from you, you can't feel them. It's not like, oh, I go in there and I feel cold and shivering and then all the goosebumps. No, that's when the evil crab actually wants you to know them. So when the evil crab is there and they are hiding, they don't want you to know them, you can't spot it. There's no symptom. So, yeah, it's really insane, right? Like when the evil god's there, hiding or possessing someone, they can really contain inside and pretend, to be nothing happened. Because they are like con artists, they can hide, they can lie, and they don't want you to know, you won't know. When they want you to know, they want to freak you out, they will create a lot of fake symptoms. So don't look at symptoms, okay? Well, you see, when you are in a situation where you feel something's not right and all that, you should be bringing it up online and talk to us and let us, diagnose what happened and so on. Because, like when you feel something's not right, that means something really should be not right. So, yeah, the best way is to get us to get involved, and we'll look at the case and see what happened. Now, for normal people, I suggest one thing, and that is living a life with discipline. Like, okay, every day you wake up about this time, you sleep about that time, you take meal about this time, and basically you kind of have a pattern of your living, like everyday life pattern. And observe that. If one day your pattern is broken, evil crab is around, like most of the time. And you can think about what's the time before that I was like still okay. For example, like today I wake up and I feel like crap, and somehow like I got in a fight with the house, everyone in the house, and then I think about, hey, last night was it like that? No, last night was okay. So what happened in between? And then we kind of do that kind of analyzing and then see what's the problem, and then this will actually lead to many answers. So if you live a life of discipline, like for us here, the seafood level, we really do have a strong discipline. Every day we go by like the same pattern and things like that. So if anything's broken, it's very, very obvious. So this is something you can start by, living a life of discipline. Anyway, okay, so enough question. So we'll move on to today's topic. Okay. Today's topic. Communication with God. 通神. For those of you who ordained in the Samlo stage already, remember your first hard spell. Now you understand more about it. Communication with God. How does that work? You see, like you have God, which you cannot see physically, right? But they are often in some objects, as we have talked about in the last two episodes, right? So they're in some kind of object, like, your statue, your altar, and things like that. Okay, so you got a statue, some incense. Okay, now you got your God there. God. Okay, what is God? Going back to the first episode that we started all these. So what is God? God is when you put your heart, okay, the heart, okay, you put your heart, it got to be colored, okay, you put your heart into something with trust, hope, faith, belief, and so on. So, put the heart inside. Ta-da. Okay. So, you put your heart inside something. You have trust, hope, faith, belief, and so on these things inside. Just like I put my heart into the door. I trust that it can protect my house. Well, how do you know? Well, you believe so, right? You don't need an explanation. Well, yeah, same thing. I bought that school bag for my son, and I hope that he will do better in school with this school bag. Okay? It's just so simple, right? So, now putting it in a more religious form is like I put the statue right here, okay? I have trust and hope and faith in it. I believe that this is the God that can help me for whatever things. Okay? Same thing. Just like the school bag, just like the door, all that examples. Same. Okay, so we put the heart inside. What does our heart do? Our heart, not that heart. The heart, feel. You have a feeling, okay? Feeling. I feel good. I feel not good. I feel I want to eat, What do you want to do? Oh, I feel like doing this, right? So, basically you can say understanding is also part of it. Understand intention. Okay? So whatever you want, whatever you mean, like what do you mean? That intention. Your heart take care of that. Right? So if your heart goes in there, okay? Now this is kind of like quantum physics. It's kind of like that. These two heart, okay, from me, my side, this one, this one from my side, okay, inside my body, okay, this is my heart. When I go, poop, 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 okay, the other side will also go, poop, 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 like that, and it's like they synchronize, it's like that. So that means if the heart inside the statue, it has a piece of my heart, it will understand what I feel and my intention and so on. Basically, you can say like, it talks to you. It can communicate with you. But then communicating by like thoughts or by intention is not enough. Because you see, I have a body, just like this little ring, the circle right here, right? It got a circle right there. It's like a wall that blocks my heart to its heart right there. We got a wall. We need something in the middle right here to help us to communicate. What is communication? Okay, wait a minute. Let us switch it around. Let us bring you to a new situation. Okay? Okay. Let's say you got a dog or something like that. Pretend that is a dog, please. Okay, so you got a dog. And you love the dog, right? You love your dog. So you put your heart into the dog. Hey, the dog feel that you love the dog right away. And then the dog smile back at you and say, hey, and then, okay, I like that. Yeah, like the dog smile like that. Anyway, so your dog feel you, right? But how do you tell the dog to, go there, catch the ball? I don't know if you have dogs or not. I never have dog, but my disciple does. And from their story is like at first when you want to throw the ball out and have the dog catch it, the ball went out, but the dog is confused. Like it doesn't know what you want to do, right? And eventually after like a lot of time you do that and you kind of hope. Yeah. You have to hope. That is a very big word. Let us write that down. Hope. You have to hope the dog will go there and actually understand this finger is a pointer to go there. Okay? Yeah. Like, why are you doing this? You know, like if you're looking at the human, why is the human always like that? You know, like with the finger, what does it mean? You don't know, right? Because you're not human. You don't have fingers. And then the dog looks at you throwing the ball and like, huh? Like that. You, the human, put the heart into the dog. You feel the dog, right? The dog feels you, right? Okay. Now you need to use a medium, that ball. And you always do the same. Always go, go. And you kind of brainwash the dog to like make the dog understand, oh, that's what you want, right? And then what do? Well, when the dog goes there and successfully did what you want, how do you let the dog know? Right, correct, right? How do you show the dog? Well, you have to show the dog by showing yourself as happy, exaggerating your happiness, and then rewarding the dog. You know, oh yeah, like that. And then give the dog a treat, you know, like that. Now, after this time, okay, the dog, you know, got the treat. It's very happy, very hype, right? Next time the dog will do that again. And then you repeat the same thing. Eventually the dog knows whenever you do that, you know, that's the right thing to do because you're happy. After the dog does it, you are happy. The dog is happy because he got the treat, right? And eventually, you know, after a while, you don't need the treat anymore because the dog knows, oh, this is playing. I understand now, right? And eventually, you just throw the ball and the dog right away know, like, oh, let's go and play. It's very simple, right? Like that. Okay, going back to the God. Actually, you know what? The funny thing is, God, you reverse it, it's dog. That's a very nice example. Anyway, so how do we teach our statue, our God? Our God don't know how to like go and, you know, chase the ball or something like that. Right? How do we do that? Well, first of all, you got to have a way to communicate with that statue. Wait, look, how do you communicate with a dog, right? You bought a dog, and what's the first thing you do? Give the dog a name, right? So, you don't give a name, then how can the dog knows you, right? So, okay, here, we got to give our God a name. So, for those of you who just started your altar, we always tell you, the God at your altar, the main God, you call that your 主事. Okay, we call that the 主事. Okay? 主事, right? Bam. So from now on, okay, whenever we call 主事, we know and we believe and hope that God also knows we're talking to Him, right? 主事. Okay, now you got your first medium right there. That's the name. Secondly, you know, they need to have a name for you as well, right? Like your dog needs to know you, right? The statue needs to know you. So you got to have a name as well. So your name, for example, you are Teen X in our lineage. So you have a name, they have a name. Okay, that's what you two know each other by. So simple, right? There you go. So whenever I go to the altar, okay, I bow to the altar, and in my heart I say, Josie, good morning. Every day you go to the altar and you greet your Josie. Josie, good morning. Josie, good night, like that, right? Every day you go and do that. You are hoping the other side will understand you and be able to connect with you. Just like every day you go to your dog, okay, if your dog name is like Mo, and they go, hi Momo, like that. And every day you do that, and you want the dog to like react to you, right? Whenever you do the same kind of calling, you want the dog to react to you and be responsive to your calling. We want our Josie to also respond to us. And that's why we need to, like, every day go to the altar and go, Josie, good morning. Tai Chi, Teen X is here to hang on with you. You know, every day you do that. Every day. Okay? Maybe 2 times, 3 times a day, you go and greet. It's basically building up the connection. Right? Okay? Cool. Now, remember in the dog's example, we have like a finger, go, you know, go there, like that. Your Josie don't know what this is, okay? So what do you do? Oh, cool, we got a medium. Okay, let us draw. Okay, sword. Okay, so we get a sword. Not very pretty, but it's okay. So we get a sword. What is a sword? That is the Josie sword. Wow, Josie sword. Okay, so this sword is not our sword. Okay, it's the Josie sword. We call that the magic sword. Ah, cool. Why is it called magic sword? Because it's for communicating with the Josie. Okay, it's God tool. So we take that sword, and now you see. Oh, one more tool. Forgot that. Ding 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 ding. A bell. Okay. Whew. Why do we have a bell? Let's talk about the bell first. I know I'm kind of like that. Let's talk about the bell first. So the bell. So why do you need a bell? Well, because you see, the dog don't understand you talking, and well, basically, like whatever you're saying in English or Chinese or whatever, it just sounds like gibberish. So, oh, okay. So while you are talking, like you say a bunch of words, and inside there might be like one word that is the dog's name. How can the dog actually know you're calling the dog, right? Doesn't know. You know, I was setting up my like Google Assistant, you know, the voice command thing. And I was like talking in a video, and suddenly the Google thing just detected me saying Google, and it just and then it just go crazy. And I was like, no, I'm not talking to you. And then next day I was setting up Bixby. And then after that, I was like talking something. And then I just said a word that kind of sounded like that. And it triggered a watch. And I was like, what the? You're right. That's annoying. Sometimes you really wanted to like listen to you. And it failed to recognize. So, you know, like that. Dog is like that too, right? So what about taking something that make a sound and use that sound? It's a very consistent sound as well. Why not, right? It's okay. So I got this bell. Ding, 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 ding. It makes this sound. So whenever I take the bell and face the god, not the dog, okay, the god, and ding, 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 that means I want the god's attention and not anything else. This bell, okay, we can say is consecrated. In Chinese, we say it's checked by Josie. Josie acknowledge it. This is my bell. No one else, okay? So let's say you have a bunch of whatever statue, whatever things. You take this bell and you ring it. no one's gonna answer you. No one knows that it's like you're getting their attention except for the Josie. Wow, impressive. Now we got a magic tool. That's why we ring the bell, right? Okay. Look. Hey, Josie, I got a piece of cloth. How do Josie know you're talking to him? Take the bell. Josie is here, right? Ling 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 ling. Ling 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 ling. Ah, now the Josie's eyes is on here, right? Ah. Okay, Josie, come over. Ling 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 ling. Over here. Ah, ling ling. Okay. Josie, here, the mic. Ding ding ding. Ah. You understand, right? That's why we have the bell. Huh? Hey, Josie, I'm working on a bunch of fu right here. Fu ah. Ding 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 ding. The fu ah. Okay. So simple, right? You don't need Chinese to understand magic. Now the sword. Okay? What about the sword? Well, the sword is basically a pointer, a stick, a pointer, right? And it's like our mouse. You can take the mouse and move it around and point to things. And then you can use it to draw things. Like if you have a stick, you can use the stick to draw, right? Draw a command. Whatever you draw is whatever the God will look at and understand. With this sword only. This sword is the Josie sword. When you point, the Josie is knowing, oh, that. Well, why can't we use a bell? Okay, look. We have like, let's say a shelf right here. On the shelf, there are like 20 items. I take the bell and I go like, ding, 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 ding. The Josie is like, okay, here, what? What? Ah! Like the whole, direction. There's so many things. And Josie like, huh? Huh? What? Which one? I want this. And then Josie like, what? Yeah. Now you got a pointer, right? You can now point to that and then use the bell. Ding, 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 ding. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Now Josie is like, oh, that one. Nah, okay lah. Okay, like that. You see? That's why you need a sword. And then you take the sword, okay, you point the sword at the door, your main door. And then ding, 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 ding. Josie is like, oh, what? Oh, the door. Okay. And then you write, right? You write a fu there that says, protect here. This is my main door. Protect here. And then your Josie understand what you want because your sword right, your Josie no. Oh, okay, here. Okay. Right? And then Josie understand. The thing is, why the Josie will understand? Why does he understand? Who taught him that? You. Right? Your heart, you see? Your heart knows what it is. You believe what it means. You trust and have faith and hope your Josie will also know what it means. Right? Now you know what these things mean. You know your Josie is going to know. Josie has a piece of your heart, right? When your heart like kind of get an update, like Windows update, okay? So whenever you learn something new, like you learn about what the sword and the bell and all that, your heart get an update, update of the information. So instantly, immediately, the God's heart, because it's also from you, right? So it also updates itself. So whenever you update with new knowledge, your God also update itself. And so when you have that trust and hope and faith and so on, for the God to understand, well, yeah, the God will understand. And of course, just like your dog right here, okay, the first time, yeah, you throw the ball, okay, you hope, and you throw the ball, you hope, and you throw this, the dog's not really going to understand, okay? But the trick is, you need to keep doing it, right? When you keep doing it for a long time, you trust that your dog will understand one day, and eventually your dog will understand. Now, Here's the thing that you have to remember. Your dog will not understand without a treat. So yeah, after every time you use some magic and stuff, we always treat our God, like you give food offerings and such, and or give you can, like, even not food, you should give back a positive, happy kind of, like, you're happy about how the God react to you, that kind of reaction. When you give back this way, and you give like food offerings and such, you are like giving them the treat, so that they know, oh, this is like done right. Next time we'll do that again. Eventually, you're like, the good thing is your God is easier to teach than your dog, because your dog has a mind of its own, right? It can do whatever it wants, but the statue is not going to move around. The statue will do whatever you want and not have the mind of its own, right? Because it's basically your heart put in there. So you see, it's really about the communication right here, using different tools. Hey, okay, so now we got a bell, we got a sword. So I can take the sword and the bell, okay, and then I can go around my house and say, here, here, da, 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 here, da, 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 protect the house. Okay, da, da. Your God will know, right? That's basically one way to communicate. Now, I got a problem. My neighbor or my friend or whoever need help. I want my God to be able to help them. But then, I only got one sword and one bell, and I'm not going to bring my sword and bell and statue over and then let them have my God, right? So how can I help them? Your God has a new tool. You have a brush. You have paper. Okay, what can we do with that? And of course, we also have a stamp. Okay, 3 new tools for you. Brush, paper, stamp. What is that for? Well, you should have guessed. Okay, the stamp is authorization. Okay, you're Josie authorized. The brush, the paper, is for you to write stuff. You can write. There's a language now, a written language. So I can write something on this piece of paper, which we call that a fu. So when I write this, what does it mean? It means the Josie is going to come here. Okay? When I write that, it means Josie, come down. Josie, come over. Split a clone of yourself. Come over. When I write this, it means this is the command to be executed. And then I write whatever I want the Josie to do. Execute. And then calling the Josie, and I stamp, boom. Now this fool, I take it to my Josie, and I do some kind of thing to tell the Josie, this fool, okay, this fool is legit. Now your Josie agree, okay, yeah, okay, I agree. And then you do a divination, and you know that, okay, Josie, I approve. Now I take this fool, I go to my neighbor's house and say, okay, you tape this here, and it will be fine. Now, what does that mean? Because your Josie agree that once the fool is taped, the Josie acknowledge, and then you tell Josie, okay, activate it. Now your Josie will split a clone of himself, and now the Josie is going to be staying, okay, he's going to be staying with the fool, and that's a clone of himself. And he knows, I'm staying here to guard and help you protect the house. Bam. That's all you need a fu, right? So nice. And hey, you can take this fu and then put it somewhere else, and the Josie will move to that location as well. Because you're telling the Josie, I want you to protect another place, right? So that's how you can do it. And what about like those fu that you carry with you? Well, you can make a fu carry, right? And so wherever you go, that clone of the Josie is following you around instead of like Josie at home inside the statue and just sitting there, right? Hey, look, we just got a bunch of magic tools. We got a bell, a sword, brush, paper, stamp. It goes on and on. So many magic tools, right? And all these magic tools, they're for what? They're for communicating with the god. Now you got a sword that communicates with your Josie, right? Why not a sword that communicates with another god? A bell that is for another god, right? It goes very specific. Like a stamp for your Josie, why not a stamp for another god that you connect to? It can. Why not? Right? Well, the whole system of magic right here in our lineage is very, very sophisticated because we have a big, big, big complex system with a lot of like very detailed stuff inside. It's like you're learning engineering. So many things interlinking and so on to make the whole magic system work. And the whole idea is you're communicating with the god and you need tools. You can't just say, I feel like that, I want the god to do that. It doesn't work. You need tools. And when I look at the newbie altar, they're like, they hold back buying tools and they want their altar to be like very simple looking. That's not going to work. You know, it's like your computer, right? The more you want to do with the computer, the more softwares you want to install into it. If you don't have the softwares, you can't do it, right? Sometimes you need hardware as well. Like you want to draw, you can't just draw with a mouse. I mean, like you can, but it's not the best tool. You need a pen, you need a tablet, right? You need new things that can allow you to communicate with the computer. Even your dog cannot just live by a ball, right? You need a ball, you need some stuffies, you need, some other toys. Your dog also communicate with you, right? And you will have different tools to show the dog, this is what I use when I want you to do this. This is what I will bring out when I want you to do this, right? Same thing with the God. Okay? Same thing with the God. It also needs some materialistic stuff so that it knows what you mean. And because every time you bring it out, that's what in your mind, that's what you believe and hope in, whatever the God to understand. Eventually, after a period of time, your God will set that program into its mind. Even our robes, when you wear this color, this design, it equals to your Josie, whatever power on you, right? Like what you're doing. For example, the Josie in our lineage, for a Josie, we use the Bakwa robe. And you have a robe with the Bakwa design, right? There are red, yellow, and black version of the robe. And you wear that to tell your Josie what you are doing for this ceremony. What is your role? What is the power that you need? Well, it's like if you wear the black, you're going to tick in things to your Josie. Okay, input things. When you're wearing red, you're outputting things. For example, I am doing a ceremony to the house to like cleanse the house or whatever. I'm going to wear red. Okay, when I'm like doing a ceremony to accept a new disciple in, well, accepting, putting in, taking something for the Josie, that's black. I wear black, right? And if I'm working on a ceremony internally, doing some changes and whatever complex commanding, I wear yellow. Different color is telling your Josie what you are doing, what is your role at this moment, what are you trying to do at the altar, all right? So the Josie will give you whatever power you need. And you see, it's all about communication. And that's how easy it is. So It's not that hard to understand why we have sword and stuff. It's basically a bunch of tools that we use to communicate with the God. Okay, so up to this point, we'll go back to the question time. So let's go. We can go back to the question.
Okay, next question from Tin Feng. She said she would like to ask for more teaching about the Sky Emperor whose anniversary we celebrated.
Okay. First of all, you can also go back to the school session last month or something. We talked about the Teen Ting, the Celestial Court. The Sky Emperor is the highest one, that the highest God that that brings in the new element from the source, like from Tai Lo Tin, to the Celestial Court. And if anything is missing or lacking there, the Sky Emperor is supposed to help the Teen Ting, the Celestial Court, to bring in the help from the main source. And you can also say that it's like an emperor because it's basically above all the powers in the Celestial Court as well. Now, how does that how does that power have anything to do with you or any disciple? Well, basically, you see, like if you are a citizen or you are a like officer in the lineage, this is your biggest boss. Okay, if your biggest boss don't like you or don't know about you, well, you don't have a future here, right? So you want to have a good future. You want to your future to, let's say, be able to learn stuff or have achievement in this stuff like the magic you're learning, right? You want the achievement. You want success. Then you need to impress this biggest boss. The biggest boss like you or know what you need, then eventually you'll see that the biggest boss will arrange the lower ones to say, hey, Tin Feng need this kind of thing. You guys got to pay attention. Bring her some help, And then eventually you see the help will come faster because the biggest boss have said something and the lower ones will be able to know, oh, you need these things. Okay, we'll get it for you, like that. So this is one reason why you want to really impress the Sky Empire, because you want your message or your request to be heard by all the gods in the Teen Ting in the Celestial Court. And you need him to really know about you. And of course, when you impress the highest one, the other ones in the Teen Ting also know that you have the heart, for this thing, and you will be more like cared for. Okay, so yeah, that's basically an introduction to that. Okay, next question.
下一个问题是天泽的问题，请问人有时会感应到在2-3日后发生的事情，这種情況的預知是存在於哪方產生出來的呢？
OK， 嗱呢個咧就係話即係有陣時會預知到或者感應到之後會發生嘅嘢，呢啲咧係即係有啲人或者動物都會有嘅一啲嘅感覺，就係一種即係好似比較預知嘅嘢啦。咁咧就係其實係個人咧感應到嗰啲嘢咧，就係你嘅靈身啊，即係你嘅靈魂啊。你個靈魂入邊咧有嗰啲得到咗嘅元氣咧，即係元神嘅能量咧。其實嗰個元神嘅能量嚟咗之後，基本上已經係夠你由今日開始計啦。OK， 你瞓醒啦，嗰個元氣嘅個元神嘅能量一嚟啊，其實係已經係差唔多管理7日後嘅嘢㗎啦，即係可以足夠去睇7日嘅嘢嘅，影響你7日。但係咁咧。唔等於話 你今日感應到第7日係咁，佢就一定係咁。只不過話佢個能量嚟咗之後已經 set 死，即係 set 咗有呢一條路，你可以有選擇去改變嘅。例如話你7日後係有車禍嘅，你有呢個感應嘅，你去做嘢啦，去做法術啦，咁樣去改變咧，嗰個車禍就會唔存在噶啦。因為永遠咧，所有嘅即係唔係今日係將來嗰啲嘢咧，全部都有得改嘅。只不過係話，即係好似即係你可以咁諗，個元神個命啊，俾你嘅嘢咧，就好似話嗰個餐廳，佢俾咗個午餐俾你啦，入邊係有咁多嘢食噶啦，我哋可以選擇唔食噶喎，俾你啫嘛，係嘛？或者你可以選擇，我都係中意飲完咖啡先食個扒，我就唔中意飲湯先嘅，我係中意最尾先飲湯嘅。喂，咁你自己選擇點飲噶嘛啲嘢係嘛？或者可以選擇唔食嘅喎。咁你自己知道咗之後，或者有個咁嘅感應，你有啲擔心啦，咁你咪做啲嘢咯，去趨吉避凶咯，咁就冇事啦。所以咧，即係要明白命運呢樣嘢啊。雖然話就係有注定，但係咁咧。有好多嘢，即係你自己咧嘅行為咧，可以將一啲唔好嘅嘢咧去避免，因為你有你個選擇嘅權利去避免嚇。咁有陣時有啲人就覺得，喂，咁其實你咁講，即係咩都好似有得改咁樣，但係咁其實又唔係嘅喎，好多嘢咩都冇得揀咁嘅喎，係冇得揀但係咁咧，你可以咧盡量去化解，即係好似話你知道自己有車禍嘅，OK？可能真係冇得揀，你係咪都要撞噶啦？佢係咪都要即係傷一傷？咁你可以做啲嘢避免傷得去，好慘噶嘛？咁你譬如話你嗰日着件唔同嘅衫厚啲嘅褸咁樣，咁你一撞嘅時候可能就冇咁傷啦咁樣。呢個人特別係即係有防範意識嘅，咁盡量避免咯。其實呢啲全部都即係話俾你聽一個道理，就係話命運咧。即係你個元神啊，俾你嘅元氣就注定咗你將來嘅嘢，可以睇到咧，就係大約都有7日已經係 set 咗啦。你每日已經 set 頭，即係每一日起身咧已經 set 多7日俾你嘅啦。咁呢7日裏邊會點啊？會有冇咩特別嘢啊？或者有啲咩先兆嘅感應啊？咁你就如果有嘅話，咁就可以做啲即係防範措施。你點知嗰樣嘢係唔係嗰個感應咧？你點知係唔係咧？唔知噶嘛，有陣時係咪？即係你純粹覺得周身唔聚財咁樣，咁係唔係真係個元神俾你嘅先兆咧？咁你就要用你個壇啦，你有個壇咧，你就可以去卜杯啦，可以去問事啦。咁睇下呢樣嘢係定唔係先？因為有陣時你只要感應到咧，其實唔係嘅喎，好多嘢可能係個錯覺嚟嘅。咁你又唔知噶嘛？咁有個壇咧，你就可以問清楚啦。Okay, next question.
Okay, next one is from Tin Joe. He was asking, kind of similar to what Tin Kim had asked, how a normal person can sense evil magic. What is the symptoms of normal human being affected or influenced by evil god/spirit apart from the possession stuff? It might give hopeless or health issue, but still we praying to evil stuff without realizing it? ? How should we realize and get out from that evil stuff?
Okay. Okay. Well, for a lot of people who are having a DIY altar, do-it-yourself altar, you just build an altar and start praying to it yourself, that kind of thing. 99% of the time, they're screwed, okay? Because you don't know anything, you don't have the power to protect it. Eventually, it's going to be hacked. So, I strongly don't recommend people doing that kind of stuff. And most of the time, evil crap is inside already. Will it harm you? Not all the time. Evil crap is inside. It's like a con artist is there, right? The con artists don't have to take away everything in one go. They can set you up for a long time, that kind of concept. Evil crap inside the statue, whatever, trying to screw up your life, can also put you on a spin and like, do a setup on you for like 30 years or 40 years. You don't realize it. So, well, you see, for us, we already know by experience that a lot of these altars like that, they're going to be hacked very easily. So the thing is, don't do it, okay? Don't do it. You don't want to be screwed, don't try that kind of stuff. How does evil crap or evil spirit or things like that affect people besides like, being possessed and such? Well, let me tell you. It affects your feeling, your thinking, and action. It will look so natural to the point that you don't even realize that a spiritual problem is like that. And you will feel that, it's myself. It's myself. I feel like that. I want to say that. And, well, you're weird. You're being affected. You won't know. And if you are the one being screwed, you will never know. You need someone to see it. Because you're already screwed. You can't see yourself being screwed. You need someone else around to tell you, hey, how come you're so weird? You act different today. Or you think different today. And let me tell you, most of your friends cannot help you. Because they won't say anything if you're just, a little bit weird. Most friends won't say anything. But for us, who are the trained ones, we are very observative. Especially like, how I deal with my closer disciple. Every day we talk. We observe. If anything, like a tiny little bit of thing is wrong, we'll see it right away. And you see, that's when you know evil crap is involved. It's so little tiny micro difference in to your like normal daily pattern. And when you spot that, it means that something's not right already. It doesn't have to possess you or like make you go crazy. Sometimes it slowly drill into you. For example, you may decide like one day you wake up and you feel not want to go to work. Very simple, right? I just feel tired. Hey, but you know what? When evil crab is there, it will want to lead you to do that. And eventually, you'll be skipping work, and that gets you in a problem later on. Or like kids, they just decided they want to skip school or skip classes. And that little thing doesn't seem like a big deal. A lot of people do that, right? Yeah, but the evil crap there, it affects you, and your thinking, your logic, everything tells you it's fine. Do that. No problem. Everyone's doing it. Now, that's how some people, like, they are fine, and then eventually, one day, they feel like, let's go and smoke weed together, or let's go and do some crazy things together. And, that instant moment of thinking that's okay, it's fun, evil crap, Evil crap screws up your logic and makes you think of all these weird things. And at first, you won't even believe that it's not right. You will think that, it's just, it's fine. You're convinced already. Your heart being taken over. You're convinced. And you will think that you have no problem. It's just yourself. You won't even realize that the evil crab is already taking control over you. And yeah, it's not like, I need to go crazy and shake my head. And no, you don't have to do all that. The real evil crab influence people seamlessly. It's not like how always, you see in the movies and shows. Not like that. The real evil crab affects people seamlessly. You can't see it. It's so natural. So anyway, that's it for today. So our time is up. So for every one of you on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, and so on. And also, don't forget to go to teenyagedragons.com website to get ordained and such if you want to learn. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye!